If you look around at people doing big numbers online, you'll probably notice that they all seem super charismatic, either from the way that they talk or the way that they command attention or their presence or something about them. And when you see this, if you're not very charismatic, you might be thinking, well, how the bloody hell am I going to sign clients if I don't have this charisma? Well, not to worry, because in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 fundamental ways of signing clients and how to use each of these regardless of your levels of charisma. And the way that I know this is I did my first $1 million just on Facebook alone, just with mostly text posts and a small Facebook group. And since then, I've actually branched out as well. So you can see we're bringing clients from this teeny YouTube channel now as well, and even short form video, long form video, emails, and different methods. So I've seen them all along the way. And I think my charisma levels have gone up a little bit from where they were. So I'm going to share with you some of the fundamental shifts that I made and how you can do all of them no matter where you are. So the first thing we're going to cover are those 3 methods. And I'll let you know that these are the only 3 methods to sign clients. No matter what any other guru or coach tells you, any other strategy, tactic, or hack that they're going to give you is just a permutation of one of these 3 ways. These are the only 3 ways to sign clients, and you can do all 3. The first one is content. So content, you might be familiar with it, but if I'm going to break it down to its fundamental level, you are creating something that you put out there with the hopes that people are going to react or respond to it and enter your funnel. So that could be a text post, an infographic, a podcast, a long form video like this, a short form video, anything that you're putting out. And then you hope that people react and respond to it to get into your funnel. So that could be sending you a DM, it could be commenting a keyword, it could be opting in with their email. And so that's how people are going to come in. That's the first one, content. Second is outreach. So outreach is pretty much bypassing the need for them to see it. You go directly to them. So in their inbox, it could be an email, it could be a DM, it could be a text message, it could be a phone call. It's like one-to-one communication. And then the third one is ads. So ads is similar to content. You're going to put something out there that you hope people see, but it's a little bit less hoping because you're paying for the exposure. So you know you can guarantee a certain number of exposures from that. And typically content and ads are similar in that regard, especially nowadays, they're kind of getting merged. But in general, ads are a little bit more aggressive than content because you're targeting strangers. So if you're mostly targeting strangers, you have to do something to hook them immediately to get them into your pipeline. So it might be a little bit more forward than just a piece of content. And we've helped people do all of these. We've helped people with outreach, we've helped people with content, and we've helped people with ads. So I have a good handle on these. So those are the 3 fundamental ways. And in order to do this, you want to think about your strengths. So that brings us on to point 2. So whether you're doing content, it could be outgoing content, it could be a bit more reserved. Same with outreach and ads as well, but you want to find your strength. When you find your strength, you don't need to artificially manufacture charisma. People think you need to just show up and you need to be great on camera, or you need to be exceedingly good looking, or you just need to be absolutely brilliant at something and have this natural charisma. But what I find is everybody's charismatic in their own way when it comes out. So if I think about just talking, I might not be very charismatic and be able to hold the frame that well. But when I'm talking about something that I've done, it's very different. So in terms of the content, if you're maybe very good at getting client results, that could be your strength that you lean into. So you don't need to be just a super charismatic person. You get people results, you share how you get people results, and that passion will come across and people will see that. Or maybe you're very, very good at systems, just like systemizing things and making things flow and flow charts. And this process goes to that process, to that process. And you can explain things in systems to where people can't see it. And now they can see it and it makes sense to them. So there's those systems and frameworks, or even experiments. Experiments I like a lot. So things that you go and you do, and then you report back on them. So when you're talking about something you've done, you don't actually need to be worrying about relating to the audience so much. You're just sharing what you've done. So some of my experiments here, I've been pretty consistent. I'm happy to say, on this YouTube channel, still small views, but for the last 4 months, I've posted at least once a week on this YouTube channel. And so now I can create a video and come back and share my findings. I won't worry about being super charismatic because I can just talk about the view rates, the open rates, Sorry, I'm talking about email there. The view rates, the click-through rates, the watch time, the leads that have come in, the revenue, etc. So I can talk about those experiments. Another experiment that we've done is called the rapid cash injection, and I did this on my YouTube channel. It's something that we give to clients. It's a strategy that we give to them. Typically helps them make 20 to 50K in a week. We ran that over 100 clients, and I put the feedback in a video on my YouTube channel. I'll link that somewhere around here. That's an experiment that I've given feedback on. Another one could be, you've probably seen this trend of yap content online where you just pull out a phone and just yap away. I've done some of that. I can give my feedback on that. So that's what you want to do. And when you're pulling from things that you've done, or if you have your systems and frameworks in front of you, that's cool, right? You could share that on a Miro board or a Lucid chart or just drawings. I see some people on YouTube, they do these drawings and they can really walk people through. I hate those people because I'm jealous. I can't, my drawings are not that great and they don't really lead people through. But if I were to give you another example, you might be feeling nervous and non-charismatic when you're trying to think of everything. But what if, like, I just pulled this water bottle in and I could talk about the bottle now? Now I don't need to be worrying about me or how I look or memorizing certain things because I've got the thing here. So I could talk about the type of water. I could talk about what type of water is it? Is it alkaline? Is it reverse osmosis? How many parts per million? How many bloody microplastics am I ingesting from this bottle? Maybe that's what I could share as well. So the lesson here, and again, this was point number 2, is finding your strength. So you can find this, you might innately know, but what have people told you? What have clients told you? If they haven't, maybe you could put that as a piece of feedback on your onboarding form. What made them join? What piece of content did they see? If they've watched all your YouTube videos and came in, then maybe you're good on camera. If they'd opened your emails and loved them, then writing could be your strength. And if you don't know that, what do people tell you that you're good at? Friends and family. What do they tell you? Is it communication? Is it breaking down complex things? Is it bringing people together and creating community? I have an interesting example about that. Is it those visual representations I told you about, like the drawing or the Miro boards or something you can break down? And coming back to that community example, I have a client right now, and she's not a very, very social person, but she wanted to create a great community around her. But what she is good at is she's good at connecting people, just like one-to-one. So she created a community where she connects people, grew that community to several hundred people very rapidly. And as a result of that, now she's created that community. People perceive her as a very socially outgoing person. She's created that community where tons of people come out. And what she wanted, she's created for herself. And the charisma has picked up along the way, because obviously if you do that and you speak to more people, just like if you do YouTube videos, or whatever you do, the more you do it, the more your natural charisma will come out. Like I said earlier, people all have charisma, but in a certain way. So maybe you're into chess and someone else is into chess. I guarantee you, if somebody put a camera on you, you two would be very charismatic talking about chess. So that's what you want to do. Lean into that strength and let the natural charisma come out. And moving on to the third way is calling it out. So when you just call it out, people will gravitate towards you. And this is what I did. And I didn't do this to give some kind of a vulnerable backstory or sob story. You can actually go back on this YouTube channel and see like how nervous I was. And I'm not even saying I'm perfect at it right now. Look, I just hit the microphone, but you could see I was definitely a lot more nervous than before and not really leaning into what I was doing. So I shared this, again, not to create that sob story, but so that people can see, hey, I wasn't naturally very charismatic. So I let that hold me back from opportunities of doing things in video format. And I do regret that. And so now that I've done this more consistently, I've seen some great results that I'll report on in future. And I don't want people to let that hold them back. So now that people can see I've gone through that, they can see that they can do the same as well. So that's what I did. And so calling out can be very, very powerful. So I've given you 3 things there. And going back to that point number 2, which style should you lean into? Because I didn't really elaborate on that. But the style that you should lean into, because like I said, you've got the communication, the frameworks, etc. I think you should pick a couple of content formats and you can rip those consistently and see what does well. And then you can lean into it. So one could be analytical content or lecture style content, especially if you're in an educational niche. If you look back on my channel a while ago, I had some whiteboard videos. I should actually bring those back. I enjoyed doing them and I didn't really have to overthink or overscript or anything. And I could really flow. And again, that's where the natural charisma came out. So I might bring those back. Who knows? You could do case study interviews. So, like I said earlier, if you get great results for clients, instead of having to try and memorize everything, you could just have a client sitting next to you or on Zoom and you could just chat back and forth. And, amazing things come out of those two-way conversations. You could do the system breakdowns. So we talked about the Miro boards, etc., or drawing. You could actually do it with an overhead cam or with a screen share. And so you could talk through as you're doing it. Another one that comes to mind is authority jacking. I don't really like clout chasing very much. I'm not big on using other people's names. However, let's say someone like an Alex Hormozy or an Iman Gadzi or a Shelby Sapp did something and you used that in your business and got a good result, you could share that. So you're not trying to, play off their name to talk bad or anything, but you are just sharing what they did and how you took inspiration from it. That's a business example, but in your niche, it could be anybody in your space who is well known. Contrarian opinions, if you like stirring the pot a little bit and you don't mind getting down and dirty, you could just share. It's not to start arguments, but it's if everybody in your market believes this and you take a firm stance against it, you can say, hey, well, I disagree with this and this is why. So you're taking the status quo and speaking against it. And again, if you are that type of person who's really passionate about that belief and opinion, that will just come through. That will come through. Your true emotions will come out and you will just naturally appear more charismatic. And so if you look around you, you'll see people doing the same things I just mentioned there. So, I'm not making it up. And you'll see people winning who are not very charismatic. They just lent into the competitive advantage. In fact, a lot of them are actually quite boring. And when they lean into that competitive advantage, you don't even really notice it. And again, when you do this, the nice thing is you don't need a high level of charisma, but your charisma will naturally develop along the way because it's only natural that you do it over and over again. And the reason I mention that is we've helped over 200 coaches scale to 6 and 7 figures, and they're all from different backgrounds. So men, women, charismatic people, some not so charismatic, maybe borderline boring people, some people comfortable on camera, some people not comfortable on camera, some people doing with long form content, some short form, some really leaning into written. So if you want us to tailor a custom roadmap based on your strengths, link is in the description. But now, what I want you to do is I want you to take action on what I've shared in this video. So leave the charisma excuse at the door and put into practice what I shared. All you have to do is take one or two of these different content formats, one or two of these strengths that you have and lean into it and then apply it into the content, outreach, or ads. And before I leave you, all this marketing stuff is great, right? But it doesn't matter if your product delivery that you actually deliver to clients is rubbish. And the beautiful thing is delivery doesn't rely on your charisma at all. So I'm going to show you in this video here why delivery matters more than marketing nowadays and how to absolutely use delivery to dominate your market. I'll see you there.